Warley is here, and with them comes a beautiful and heart-wrenching animation that all must see. Warley's life story stretches beyond the memories of flavor. However, our journey with him begins in the curio cabinet. I'll see you there. Wouldn't you know it, Clay is good people and Warley is free for everyone, so thanks for that. But if you do yearn for skins, they are weavable at 1,350 a piece, or of course, purchasable within the shop. No worries though folks, cause as always, I've got you covered. So let's have ourselves a look, yes? Warley the Rosette and all his sweetness is on display, and he is truly ready to host some fancy guests as the highest honor, and may just be one himself. Fancy stuff indeed. Warley the Trawler is and has always been ready to face the high seas. This is probably my personal favorite out of all the bunch, but unfortunately, that ain't saying too much. Warley the Victorian / naval boy, who apparently has just been hiding within the gorge this whole dang time, but whatever the story is there, so be it. He's here, and he's dashing. Honestly, his 3 skins are pretty darn disappointing, especially given what we've been used to with the other character releases. So as much as I want Clay to be supported, I am not going to sit here and recommend a guaranteed satisfaction with your purchase. That being said, our culinarian buddy is here to stay, and with him comes a mighty set of additions beyond his person. But let's talk his stats first. Warley sits at 150 health, 200 sanity, and the whopping 250 hunger, which is tied for the second largest stomach in the entire game. It's certainly a black hole, and it is as finicky as ever, cause Warley's palate has gone and gotten itself a tweak. Cause not only has his memory of past munchies increased from 1.75 days to a full 2, he can now only eat foods from a crock pot and a crock pot alone. And I'm sure that's gonna dampen some of your initial experiences, but be sure to freshen up on our recipe guides to broaden your culinary horizons. And contrary to what was known before, the negative effects of food no longer increase, but instead actually get weaker along with everything else. I'm not too sure that's what Clay actually wanted, but hey, it's a thing as of this video, so make use of it. But the effect of continue eating appears to be the exact same at 10% penalty on the first repeat, 20% on the second, 35% on the third, 50% on the fourth, and then maxed at 70% on the fifth, and so on and so forth, so there we go. Oh, did I also mention though the 20% faster hunger drain on Warley, because that's the thing too. However, it is much better than his original 33% from Solo Don't Starve. So we not only need to combat the horrors of the constant, but rather our stomach as well. So how do we go about doing that? Well, it's pretty simple when the character spawns with his trusty portable crockpot, along with having the ability to craft 2 new kitchen handies, the portable grinding mill, and the portable seasoning station. All of them unique, useful, and exclusive to Warley here, even in their use. But let's start with the crockpot, shall we? And don't starve together, you are no longer limited to just one, thank goodness. With 2 gold, 6 charcoal, and 6 twigs, you can craft additional crockpots beyond the one he already spawns with. It's plenty more expensive than a normal pot, but oh boy, it's gonna be worth it. Not only do meals cook 25% faster within these things, but at least 11 new meals come with them. It's a bloody lot. So I'm gonna try to fire through as fast as I can, so make note when you can. Potato souffle requires 2 potatoes and 2 eggs to create and offers nearly 40 hunger, 20 health, and 15 sanity. Jesus, this thing is so flippin' good and efficient. Dragon chili salad needs a dragon fruit and 3 peppers for a food that offers 25 hunger, minus 3 health sadly, but 10 sanity. However, the food also provides warmth for what seems like a full day, which is incredible for combating the winds of winter if you don't happen to have anything to cover your giblets. Monster Tartar returns, so toss in monster meats with some veg or fruit for a food that restores a whopping 62.5 hunger, but at a cost of 20 20 health, and 20 sanity each. And that's a yikes. Fresh fruit crepes and all the fruity goodness also return with 2 fruits, butter, and honey in order to get a munch that restores the crazy 150 hunger, 60 health, and 15 sanity each. Certainly still the fruity king. Bone soup is 2 bone shards and 2 onions for a slurp of 150 hunger, which is absolutely nuts, 32 health, which is phenomenal, and 5 sanity. But wow. Get to killing your friends for more bone shards apparently, because bone soup is right on up there now. Moqueca needs 2 fish, an onion, and tomato to give over 100 hunger again, 60 health, and 33 sanity. What in the world, dude? These recipes are so insane. Gazpacho is next, so grab an asparagus or 2 and toss in some ice for a food that not only lowers your overall temperature for a day, but also gives 25 hunger, 3 health, and 10 sanity in return. So this is something to keep an eye on in summer. Frog fishbowl requires 2 frog legs and 2 fish for a dish that astonishingly immediately sets your wetness to 0. I mean, that's amazing in and of itself. But it also returns 37.5 hunger, 20 health, but it will hit you for 10 sanity each. My goodness, can you imagine if this was in Shipwrecked? It'd be amazing. Volt Goat Jelly requires a horn and 3 honey and grants electrical damage to all your flippin' attacks for a short period of time. Combine this with wet enemies and your damage is gonna be soaring. Remember, the hentai below are technically always wet, so there you go. Oh, it also restores 37.5 hunger, 3 health, and 10 sanity a munch to boot. Glowberry Mousse will need 2 glowberries and 2 fruits for a food that restores 37.5 hunger again, 3 health, and 10 sanity again. But when eaten, it also grants a temporary light source around the player, just like how a normal glowberry would do the same, but this is far, far better. Finally, Nightmare Pie. It actually uses 2 nightmare fuel in the recipe, an onion and potato for a food that only gives 25 hunger in terms of stats, but comes with the added bonus of swapping your statuses. For example, eat one, and your health becomes your sanity, while your sanity becomes your health. It's pretty neat, but likely will only find rare use. However, it does seem to work with wormwood, so here's an actual food that can actually heal our plant boy in a flash, and that is lovely. Before we move on though, I'm sure you heard me mention quite a few new ingredients there, and you'd be right, because with Warley comes 6 new veggies: toma roots, potatoes, asparagus, peppers, onion, and garlic, all of which can be grown within farms. Yes, sadly they're not out in the wild, which I would have hoped, and some may elude you. But once you get the ones you do want, remember to feed them to a caged, feathery friend for their specific crop seeds in order to grow more. The reason why I'm telling you this now is because, believe it or not, there's still more frickin' recipes. Only this time, everyone can make them. Vegetable stinger is one, and must have asparagus, tomato, another veggie, and ice for a delight that restores 25 hunger, 3 health, and 33 sanity. Man, off to a good start already. Banana Pops return, lovely so, and with 2k bananas, a twig, and ice, you can restore 12.5 hunger, 20 health, but 33 sanity. Quite good, actually. It also lowers your temperature temporarily as usual. Fish guts make their way into Don't Starve Together, so toss in 2 fish and 2 ice for ceviche, a food that also lowers your temperature as it does in Shipwrecked, but grants 25 hunger, 20 health, and 5 sanity each, which is always lovely. Asparagus soup from Hamlet, I believe, needs 2 asparagus and 2 other veg for a slurp of 18.8 hunger, 5 sanity, and 20 health each, so slurps up. Mashed potatoes need, well, potatoes, and a hunk of garlic for some creamy goodness that gives nearly 40 hunger, over 30 sanity, and 20 health to boot. Absolutely fantastic. Speaking of creamy, toss in 2 more potatoes, another garlic, but a twig this time for fancy skewered potatoes that give 37.5 hunger, only 3 health, but 15 sanity a pop. Lovely. 2 tomato and 2 onion within a pot nets salsa. Food that grants 25 hunger, 3 health, and 33 sanity. It's weird that this doesn't impact any temperatures though, but hey, it's still pretty darn good. And finally, pepper poppers with 3 peppers and a piece of meat for 25 hunger, 30 health, but a loss of 5 sanity. But that doesn't mean anything. It's pretty darn efficient still, and as a healer, it's certainly worth looking into. My goodness, I did not expect this much to come with Warley, so forgive the length of the video, but we still ain't done. Time to talk seasoning all this crap. The portable seasoning station can be crafted with 2 more gold, 3 cut stone, and 6 twigs, and those new ingredients we mentioned are about to prove their worth. Only you're gonna need the portable grinding mill too, so whip that up with even more gold, a couple doodads, and twigs while you're at it. Stand next to the grinder for access to an exclusive tab and see what can be done, starting with garlic powder. Create any meal you wish and head to your seasoning stations. Place the seasoning and meal itself within and voila, you're a master chef. Garlic powder itself, though, gives 33% damage reduction as a bonus to the food temporarily. So put it on healers for combat purposes to really feel safe when facing down some of the big bads mano a mano. It's very nice and kind of powerful, actually. Honey crystals are next, so pay a visit to your Stinger Having Bee friends for a seasoning that allows for foods to grant the ability for you to be able to chop and mine things with 50% less actions. I mean, on any character, that translates to faster gathering. But put this on a Woody and time a Werebeaver transformation right to bring out the absolute destroyer of all things wooden. Deforestation, here we come in a flash. And lastly, chili flakes, but with 3 peppers. Oh, you know, it only boosts damage by 20% if you eat a food seasoned with it. It's no big deal or anything, but Clay? Do you remember Wolfgang? I think he may synergize and enjoy this a bit too much, but hey, all good. Oof, glad that's finally over, right? Wrong. Warley also spawns with his unique chef pouch, which is nuts, as starting the game with access to a backpack already is incredibly advantageous. And as far as I can tell, it functions the exact same. So it'll keep your food fresher longer, but it's not gonna bother with keeping your ice or your thermals cooled along the way. And oh yeah, it's actually craftable with 4 twigs, 4 grass, and 2 niter, which is intriguing. And for whatever reason, Warley also can boast the ability to cook things a little faster on a fire as well, even though we can't even eat the food that he's cooking. It's faster, sure, but it's not mind-blowing. It's just unique, and that's what matters, I guess. But there you have it, everyone. At least I think so. I got Warley the same time you all did, so I'm certain that I may have missed things along the way. But please, let us all know. It's the time of discovery for everyone now. Thanks for watching, folks. Have great fun out there with the plethora of new and exciting stuff in the Constant, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.